All right, I'll say we will begin. Good day. Welcome to the Interstellar Alliance Social Experiment, Step 5, the Volunteer Corps. This step involves you becoming more involved with your society in service to humanity in beneficial ways. No download is required for this step. It is all about you taking the step, initiating the step of volunteering in certain ways on your planet and doing the things that are representative of service, of help, of bringing about a more positive world, of doing the things physically, acting on the things that connect you to others in ways that can be of assistance, that can be of help, that can be representative of the positive actions you can take, that would be more representative of the actions you would take in the kind of world that you say you prefer to live in. But there are many reasons for taking these actions, not only to be of service to others, but also to allow you to change your own states of being, should you be experiencing states of being that you don't prefer. For example, if you are experiencing the idea where you don't really understand what your passion may be, even though we have explained that you can start simply with everyday things, just acting on the things that have even just a little bit more excitement than anything else, and doing those things first, and letting it build up and snowball into bigger and bigger opportunities, we are still talking about the idea that some of you may not necessarily know how to get yourself out of a state of boredom, a state of sameness, a state of depression, a state of not allowing yourself to exercise your creative imaginations to move you forward. So one of the best ways that you can allow yourself to change that state is to volunteer, to be of assistance and to be of help to other people in various situations, to get out of yourself, so to speak, to change your environment, to change your actions, to do something different, to think, as you say, outside your box, to do something you are not familiar with, and to see if you can actually find passion in those things that you are now exploring in your service to humanity. There are many things that you can volunteer to do. And when we say volunteer, it doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot be paid to do them, for there are many things you could volunteer for that will actually pay you, at least to some degree, will support you in your willingness to participate in those things. Some of them you will do for free, but even then you will get a lot out of it if you are willing to break through your usual assumptions, your usual state of being, and just choose something that you may start out being mildly curious about, or may have at some point thought of what other people feel about doing those things and said, I wonder what it's like to do that. Give yourself a chance to take the action, to take the step, to move forward and go ahead and volunteer to be of service in that way. If you have ever considered what it might be like to be of assistance in a variety of ways on your planet, such as going to the people that plant new trees and helping them do so, going to the people that feed the homeless in homeless shelters and volunteering to help there, going to read stories to people who are bedridden in hospice situations, going to animal rescue services and participating there to help the idea of the animals on your planet. There are many things you can volunteer for that will get you out of your present situation and open you up to what is possible in your service to humanity and allow you to potentially find new things you may actually discover that you can be passionate about. Getting out of your habits, getting out of your usual situation, opening your world up, making connections you otherwise wouldn't have made. This is very important for the idea of open contact, is to allow yourselves to start making contact with different realities that can be of service to humanity, opening your world up so that you can open up to other worlds as well, being more flexible in your ability to participate and interact with other people socially on your planet. After all, this is an interstellar alliance social experiment. And this is one of the social aspects of it, is to engage more fully with the positive aspects of your society that are already doing things that would be more representative of the kind of things you would do on the kind of earth you say you would prefer to live on. So help out, be of service, volunteer, find something that you are at least curious about and wonder what it would be like to do that. Do it at least once. You can do it at least once. Or you can decide to do it every day. You can decide to do it once a week, once a month, once a year, or more than that, or every other day, or every other week, or every other month, or every other year. The timing is up to you. What's most important is that you choose to participate, that you choose to help out, that you choose to magnify and amplify the positive work that others may be doing and add your energy to it, not only to help in your service to humanity, but also to pull you out of your regular routines, to open up the world to you in a variety of ways that may allow you to discover new passions that you didn't know you could have. So this is part and parcel of the Interstellar Alliance social experiment volunteer core. Get out in the world, take the actions necessary to change your situation, to open up your reality, and to participate, interact, and interconnect with others, doing positive works on your planet in help to others. We thank you for allowing us to share this idea, this step with you this day of your time. And we ask now, in return, how may we be of service to you? Please begin with your dialogues and your questions if you wish.
Hey, what's going on, Bashar? It's Rohan, aka RX Mundi from Bucks County, PA. Back with another question. As you might remember, I am a rap artist, and I do have a upcoming project titled Dark Night of the Soul. It's an EP that I've been working on. And I was just curious to get your perspective, maybe you and your civilization. How do you define a Dark Night of the Soul? Do you have them on your planet? Any insights into this? Causes, maybe like maybe what's like the purpose of a Dark Night of the Soul? You hear it talked about a lot in like spiritual circles. And any information you could share on that, I would greatly appreciate. And thanks so much for your time, as always, Bashar. Aveo.
No, we do not have them on our planet because we are willing to face our challenges with full consciousness. The dark night of the soul is a device that humans often use to isolate themselves in a way where they force themselves to go finally in a direction that they need to go in because they simply have no other choice. They either have to face it and come up with an inspiration that leads them in a direction that will serve them and expand them, or often they will simply take themselves out of physical reality and they will die. So the idea is to allow yourself to understand that this is the general purpose of the dark night of the soul in human terms, is to put yourself in a situation where you have no choice but to either move forward or leave this physical reality. The synchronicity that you are experiencing at this moment is that it is your higher self calling to you. to get you to pay attention to something that is very important. And that is the synchronicity of the sound that you are hearing right now. You are receiving a call from your soul, from your higher mind, from your higher self, to really isolate what's really important in your life, to figure that out and make a choice that leads you in a direction toward the light of your being that will allow you to finally break free from the idea of negativity, from fear-based beliefs, and truly be yourself. Truly move in that direction. You give yourself no choice by putting yourself through that degree of challenge in your life. But remember, you have to be a very strong soul and a very strong spirit in order to have attracted that experience to yourself. So having a dark night of the soul is often a very powerful sign of how powerful you are as a spirit in your capability to transform your life in a positive way by going through that challenging experience. That's what it's for. It removes any other option from you other than the idea of moving straight forward as your true self, or simply leaving physical reality altogether and starting again.
Hi.
Good day to you,
It's an honor to speak with you.
as it is for us with you as well.
Thank you. My first question is, I do things like automatic writing.
All
I've
right.
seen things before they happen,
Yes.
and I have at one point left my physical body, and there are various other things.
All right. How exciting.
Yes. How how can I use this within this lifetime to uplift humanity? Like, what is the purpose of me even knowing this at this time?
Well, these things are the result and side effects of the expansion of consciousness going on your planet at this time. Certainly, through automatic writing, you can bring through information that may be of assistance and helpful to other people, yes?
Yes,
So, isn't that of service to humanity in that particular method?
yes,
And seeing things before they physically manifest, isn't that also something that could be, in some way, shape, or form, used to serve others?
yes,
Because you understand that prediction is simply an awareness of the energy that exists at the moment the prediction is made. If you sense that energy and tell someone what the energy is that you're sensing, what the likelihood is of something manifesting, and it's something they don't prefer, then you've given them an opportunity to realize what the energy is like and how they may be able to change it if it is something that they would rather change. Isn't that being of service to someone as well?
yes, it is.
So why is it so mysterious and so strange about how to use these expanded consciousness abilities in service to humanity?
Um, I guess I guess I really don't know the answer to that, except for the fact that I didn't know anybody in my personal life who was able to do anything like that, and I always felt just completely different from everybody around me.
All right, well, it's becoming more common, and many more people understand that these abilities are possible.
Yes.
And therefore, when you are out of body, you could go different places, you could gather information, you could bring it back to humanity in different ways on different subjects. This is a lot of what some of the ancient, shall we say, priestesshood used to do in Atlantis, in ancient Egypt. They would go into these out of body states, they would go and gather information from higher realms and bring that information back and apply it in their society. And that can be information about anything. It can be information about the nature of humanity, the nature of nature. It can be the nature of technology. It can be all sorts of cosmic information and answers that could help humanity. So you can go and gather information out of body, bring it back, remember to transmit or write this information down, and share it with those who are willing to receive it. Is that not something you think you
Yes.
can do?
Absolutely, thank you.
All right. So
Um,
then you can be of humanity's service in many different ways. Yes?
Yes, yes,
All right.
yes, absolutely.
All right. So,
My next question is, in your in your realm, where you live,
yes.
um, how does your society interact with animals and the earth in order to like how do they?
On our world of Sesasani, we interact with animals all the time. But our world is left relatively natural. We don't have big built up cities. Our cities are our spaceships. So when we are on our planet physically, the animals, in a sense, have the run of the place, I suppose you would say, and everything
Oh,
operates on pure synchronism. So the animals will come to us, or we will find animals that wish to engage with us, wish to communicate with us in a variety of telepathic ways, and we enjoy these communions and interactions very much. They are intelligent beings, they have their own reflections, they have their own purpose, they have their own lives, and we interact with them as we would interact with any member of our society.
that's beautiful. Would you be able to provide information as to how we could interact with animals in a kinder, more respectful way, and just being able to communicate with them?
Yes, well, most animals will communicate with the idea of visualization. In other words, send them pictures and feelings rather than words. They will pick up on that, and they will get used to that form of communication coming from humans, which at this point is relatively rare, except for those humans who have really developed a love bond with animals. So the idea is that they will receive those pictures, see them doing what it is you are attempting to communicate with them, and see them doing it in your mind's eye, and send the feeling that goes with it. Send feelings of love with the pictures that you imagine them performing, those actions in the visualization, in your imagination, and eventually you will see them reflecting those actions themselves. And you will start to develop more telepathic communication with them. Remember, it's not telepathy, it's telepathy. You have to have a bond, a love bond with the animal.
And and can you do something similar with the plants with the earth itself?
Absolutely.
That makes sense. And
I
one
know.
final quick question would be, when we speak about love, to me, when I like there are moments where I feel like it's almost like an eternal love, but
Yes,
it feels like a stillness, a very,
it
very, very
is.
still.
It is. The idea of what you translate as the sensation of unconditional love is your physical translation of the frequency of existence itself. That's how you translate it. So it's going to feel infinite, eternal, and still, but at the same time will feel very active and engaging and energetic because it is the actual frequency of existence itself.
Wow. That's that is very beautiful, and I'm sure I could have another million questions to ask you, but thank you so much for providing this information, for contacting us, for thank you so much. I truly feel honored.
It is our passion and our pleasure, and we are honored as well. Good day. Aveo.
Good day. Okay.
Bashar, 1 month ago, I birthed a beautiful baby boy, and I am looking for clarity and help on releasing the story of trauma that I am telling myself of how I could have created the birthing experience that I did. I was planning a at-home on natural water birth, and because of complications and because my son did not arrive until almost 43 weeks, we ended up at the hospital having to go through every medical procedure I did not want, that I did not plan for, which ended up resulting in an emergency C-section to save my son and I's life. If you can please help me to understand how I may have created this, how we create the things around the birthing experience, and if you can give any insights on why a soul might choose to come in versus C-section or vaginal birth, and if my son chose this.
All of it was chosen by both of you to experience challenges in a way that allows you to drop your insistence and your assumption about how you think things need to happen. So you gave yourself an opportunity to learn a valuable lesson about not being so insistent on the idea of what you typically call a spiritual way of doing things, so that you can validate all pathways as being equally spiritual if they are capable of providing the lessons you need to learn for your soul's growth in this life. So your child helped you understand this by taking you through a completely unexpected series of experiences on the path of birthing something that includes not only the birthing of your child, but the birthing of a new you that will relax your insistence on the way you think things need to go in order to accomplish what you need in this life. It doesn't mean you have to suffer or have to experience pain to do so, but it was a lesson that made you face the idea that sometimes you may be invalidating pathways that actually would be what you actually need for your soul's growth, rather than simply assuming that you can do things in what your society more classically might say is a more spiritual way, as if you should be beyond the idea of experiencing physical reality, which is equally valid to any spiritual experience whatsoever. So it's about relaxing the idea of separating the validation and the validity of spiritual experiences from spirit, and allowing yourself to accept that it is all a spiritual experience and is valid for your soul's growth. And then you may experience the effortlessness of a new path that is more representative of your true self, without invalidating the other paths you think you should be able to be beyond.
Hello, guys.
Good day, good day.
Good day. So good to virtually see you.
And you as well.
I have been recently very much excited about my life and about valuing myself, and that's a new thing. So yay to me.
All right, congratulations.
Just catching up, a little slim, a little, just perfect timing.
Yes.
And I've been having a lot of fun exploring around, being myself. I sometimes still get the reflections in the outside of resistance, but I know that's just an illusion, and I just laugh at it and sell my deodorant anyway.
All right. Again,
So,
of course, it is the remembrance that it's not so much what happens, but it's about what you do with what happens that makes the difference.
okay, that's really good to remember. Because sometimes I do choose to match that lower frequency, because the negative belief is, well, this is my only option, and that's not true.
No, not at all. Never. There's always, always a path for you that works for you, that is representative of your truth. Always. You just have to have the willingness to open up your imagination and creativity to find it, or even invent it.
Yes. I also think I was buying into a belief, or even a definition about waiting or being in a lull of, okay, I'm waiting for something I prefer, or I'm being myself until something more preferable comes up and I want to interact. And I I was excuse me, defining waiting for that as a lull and negative, and it's not. It's cool. I'm just going to be me until something shows up that I want to interact with.
Yes, and the more that you are willing to be you, you will find that you will accelerate what will come to you.
Yes, I'm learning that. I'm seeing that. I'm excited to be cat's got my tongue. To be more of myself in a specific area. I'm finding more like-minded people there, and um, I'm excited to explore my creative gifts. I've been seeing signs and symbols related to the hybrid kids. My symbol with them is starfish, so I've been seeing a lot of starfish synchronicities.
Yes.
And
Perhaps that's a good nickname for you.
yes, that is a good nickname for me. Are there any other symbols that they want to throw out there, or is that enough for now? Me and
That is enough for now. Starfish will do.
it will do very well. Yeah, so I think I've been defining meditation in a limiting way as well, which is
All right.
interesting to learn. I've been viewing it as a separation, like, okay, my life's so exciting. Okay, now I'm gonna go meditate over here.
Remember that following your passion is an active meditation.
Absolutely. There's no separation between meditation and acting on my excitement.
No, none. If you wish to meditate in the traditional sense, then you're simply following your passion. You're not doing anything other than that.
I think I was defining meditation as like, let me go be quiet for a while, and that's challenging sometimes.
That's all right. Being quiet for a while can also be an expression of your passion.
Yeah, I think I'm learning to redefine rest and recuperation and rejuvenation as all part of the excitement. And
Absolutely. It's not an interruption in it. Just as when you are acting on your passion and something may come up within you that represents a negative belief, then you have to understand that that's not an interruption in your excitement. It's part of your excitement to discover that so that you can let it go. So finding that you need rest and recuperation doesn't have to be seen as an interruption in your flow. It can actually be seen as part of your flow.
yes, the other redefinition I'm making is when being alone, I'm still with everyone, all connected with my guides, with all of us. It just I'm taking
Always.
that always. I'm
Always.
just taking that alone moment, but I've been defining it as
All right.
alone versus with people, which is again not correct.
All right. Well, it's not that it's not correct, it's simply a choice. So you can either see it as alone in the sense of separation, or you can see it as all one.
It's up to me, 100%.
It's up to you. This is all about you understanding how important it is to learn what definitions work for you and what definitions do not.
Absolutely. And it's easier for me to discern now when I'm buying into these. So that is sinking in, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm just going to continue on that journey of realizing when I'm choosing to buy into a negative belief. And it's been fun. And I love you and our Bashar community so, so, so very much.
Our unconditional love to you as well, Starfish.
Thank you so much, Bashar. Okay, one more question.
Yes.
The Pleiadians, they are our cousins and they are likely to visit Earth. Are they more, I know likely is such a relative term.
Well, they are visiting Earth quite often.
And they are going to be making open contact possibly even before the Yael or with at the same time.
That is not absolutely given, but the introduction of hybrids to human society and the introduction of Pleiadians to human society will occur somewhere around the same window of time. It is a little bit challenging at this point to say who will really be first. There may be a mix of things, but nevertheless, both of them are, shall we say, in the running to be up front, or at least within a similar window of time in the introduction of ETs to human society on Earth.
Is there any other race of beings that are in the running to be in the first couple?
How about letting Earth humans deal with hybrids and Pleiadians first?
Sounds great. Good idea.
All right. You'll
So
get
glad
used to
be
the
part of
different
it.
species over time. The introductions will happen as humans become ready for them. But let's start simply. Let's start with those that are most like you, so that there is some degree of familiarity in the sense, literally, of the word family. So that way you can absorb their existence, and we will talk a little bit more about this in the upcoming Sedona transmission.
Thank you so much, Bashar. I love you so much, and you get free deodorant, and I love you.
We thank you. We don't need the deodorant, but we thank you nonetheless.
Love you.
You as well. Good day.
Good day.
Hello, dear Bashar. My name is Nadezhda. I would like to ask you something. Could you please explain what is the reason for sudden death? My dad died on the 23rd of July. He fainted suddenly. Then after a few minutes he was conscious. We called the ambulance. The doctors got him in the ambulance, and 5 minutes later he stopped breathing. In the hospital they couldn't do anything to save him. Why would the soul choose this death and not instant recovery or to remain alive in a parallel reality, for example? I have prayed to God, all the archangels, to you, to my dad's parents, and my prayers didn't help to save his life. Why did the intelligence who creates worlds didn't manage to save his life? We have a camera in our house, and the camera stopped recording the whole day on the 23rd of July. It was nothing. What was the reason for that? 1 minute you are here alive, and in the next hour suddenly you are gone. Thank you. Aveo, much love.
The important thing here to understand is everyone chooses the timing of their death. It's not about being saved to be alive. You are invalidating the choice of that spirit to leave when he did. So don't invalidate those choices just because you miss that person or because you are going through grief or pain. Do not invalidate their choice. They're doing it for a reason, and you can benefit from that reason if you remain connected to their spirit. The reason that the camera didn't record anything is because exactly it wasn't supposed to. Because the idea is it was a symbol that he chose his life to be over. At that point, there was nothing more to record, nothing more to do that you could have done. It's not about the idea of looking to God, goddess, or a larger intelligence to do something about it, because that intelligence is not going to contradict what the individual soul has chosen for the timing of its life experience and when it is done with what it is it came to do. So you have to start seeing all these things as the absolute valid choice that the spirit and soul made. You're taking away its choice to have a free will to determine what is correct for it by assuming that something went wrong. So understand that you both chose this, you both did it by agreement. It is for you now to stretch yourself into spirit, to open yourself up that you still have a connection to him, and that will stretch you to expand your consciousness and expand yourself to include the idea of the spirit realm in your physical life by knowing that he's still part of your family. You are not alone. He is there for you when you need him, But the idea is you can't invalidate his choices any more than you would want him to invalidate yours.
Ha'atu, Bashar.
And to you as well. Good day.
Good day. It's an honor and a pleasure as always. I wanted to open up by asking, what is home?
Well, you have many sayings about that on your planet. Home is where the heart is. Home is wherever you are. Home is where you feel at home. So home, practically speaking, physically speaking, is the entire earth for humanity. That is your home. But real home is spirit. That's your home. That's where you are right now. That's where you never leave. So the spirit realm is your natural state, and your natural state is your true home.
Thank you. You said a few transmissions ago that homelessness is a relatively rare concept throughout the galaxy. Why do we have homelessness in our current society, and what are some permission slips we can do to help address the root cause if one is in it?
There are many different causes of the idea of someone being without a physical home on your planet. You almost have to take it, even though there is some generality to it, on a case-by-case basis, because each individual has their own reason for not having what they would perceive to be a functional shelter. Now, not everyone needs a physical shelter if the environment itself is conducive to them thriving without an actual physical shelter. But in general, you will find that a lot of it has to do with fear of control, a lot of lack of self-worth, a lot of different issues. There are some generalities, but you still have to go from person to person to find out what issue they are actually basing their experience of homelessness on. Because it can be many different things that have to do with belief systems about their relationship to humanity, belief systems about their relationship to connection and connectivity, belief systems about whether they are being controlled by living in a structured environment, all sorts of belief systems. You would have to ask each person individually what they are basing their situation on.
Okay. I think if I remember in the book, you said there's about 300,000 Essassani beings. Is that true? Or how many?
Yes, roughly on average, we maintain our population around that number generally.
And what percent of them have had Earth incarnations?
About 15%.
Have any of them been people in our history that we may recognize, and may you share a few?
All right. Now, first of all, do you remember that all beings exist at the same time, and what you're calling reincarnation is an effect that you perceive from physical space-time reality and is not actually a description of the mechanism. No one has ever been anyone else. No one will ever be anyone else other than who they are right now, because everyone exists at the same time. So when you talk about the idea of incarnations, you're talking about the idea of beings making an energetic and informational connection to other beings that coexist in parallel timelines at exactly the same overall time that you exist. Do you understand this concept?
Yes.
So no one has ever been anyone else. So many beings in our world may connect energetically to a lot of beings in your world and other worlds as well that you know historically, but we are just clarifying no one has ever been, actually physically been, a historical being in your reality.
Okay. What do you do in your ship above Bell Rock? Are you always there?
In a manner of speaking, you would perceive that I am always there, but time for me is not what it is for you. I can experience the coming and going, while you may experience my constant being. So there are many things that I do. Aside from the idea of communicating with other civilizations as a first contact specialist, I can go literally physically to other planets on a different frequency, on a different timeline, and yet never appear to have left the area above Bell Rock from your perception.
That's pretty rad. Okay, next question is, why do cats have eyes sort of similar to reptiles, but all their big cat counterparts, like the cheetah, do not?
There is a connection in the eyes to the idea of humanity. For those that have the round pupils, there is a connection to other dimensions and other realities for those that have slits.
So kind of like goats do too.
But they have different kinds of slits. And that represents something different yet again.
What does it represent? I've worked with a lot of goats. I'm just curious.
It represents the idea of seeing different slices of reality that pertain, that have to do with the idea of communal animals, herd mentalities. It helps, shall we say, navigate the frequency of herd mentalities, of communal animals.
Got it. How can one travel in and out of the template level reality?
Well, you do it all the time when you are out of body, when you are dreaming.
Now, in the waking state, that is something that some people may be doing a little bit more consciously.
Yes, to some degree, and it has to do with being malleable and flexible with regard to your definitions of space and time. And this is, again, one of the reasons why we give you all the formula, so that as you raise your frequency by acting on your passion, not abandoning logic or anything like that, or analytical thinking, of course, but as you raise your frequency, you become capable of seeing through the projection of consciousness that physical reality is, and can start to see the underlying structure that you have created in your consciousness that represents your chosen experiences of physical reality, and that is the template. And you can manipulate it to a certain degree in terms of those experiences, but not to any great degree that will remove you from the path you have chosen to experience in this life in general.
Is that kind of like the samadhi state?
It is about becoming lucid in the physical dream.
Okay. Why is letting go of the ego, even to the extent of aiming to let go of it completely, part of some spiritual traditions?
That is a slight misunderstanding. It is not the idea of the ego vanishing. It is the idea of the negative ego not being allowed to express itself in that way. You need ego because ego is synonymous with simply the idea of the physical mind, and that device is used to perceive the concept of physical reality. So it's just that when you are in a flow, when you are matching the frequency of you creating your physical reality experience, it feels absolutely effortless, feels like your ego structure, your physical mind, is not doing anything at all. And that's what feels like it's not there, even though it is, because it's still allowing you to perceive the physical reality that you are creating, which is fundamentally the ego's only function, just to perceive physical reality.
Got it. How much and to what degree will our governments be involved with the idea of open contact?
To some degree, but not as much as they think.
Got it. How can one self-check the degree of relevance that a certain outcome or life trajectory pertains to oneself?
By always using the fourth principle of the formula of staying in a positive state and remembering that it doesn't matter what happens, it only matters what you do with what happens that makes the difference on your path. So by staying in that state, no matter what manifests, you will always be able to gain a benefit that will give you the lesson you need to learn, that you chose to learn in this life, to face the challenges that you chose to face.
Thank you. That one took me a few years to really understand, but
That is
Walking that
perfectly
one.
fine.
what is the ETA of free energy devices on our current timeline?
Possibly somewhere within the next 10 to 20 of your years at the most.
Okay, and my last question, what is the long-term goal of the social experiment we are in the middle of?
It's not so much the idea of a goal as it is an opportunity to gauge how ready you decide you all are to have open contact with other species.
Okay, well, with that, greatly appreciate everything you do. I'll catch you at Bell Rock, and Aveo.
Aveo. Good day.